All right, everybody, this is Kaylee McMahon with the Apartment Queen, and for today's module or unit, what we're going to be going over, how to vet a market. So there's a couple things you, as a passive investor, you need to be really aware of whenever you're looking at investing in apartment syndications or apartment deals. So basically, what you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking for three different areas of the deal. You're going to be looking for the track record of the sponsor. We'll cover that later in a Q&A. You're going to be looking at the deal itself, which is going to be the underwriting part of it. And then you're going to need to underwrite the actual market that the deal is sitting in. If the underwriting for the market itself doesn't meet your credentials or your criteria, then it's probably a waste of your time to look any further, whether it is that you're actively syndicating the deal or you're a passive investor looking at it for a prospective investment. So here we're going to go over today how I underwrite the market on a deal. I use Real Focus. So with Real Focus, what you're looking for is you're looking for these 5 different Real Focuses. So population growth, income growth, house value growth, crime trend, and then job growth. So I'm going to come down here. So right now we've got San Antonio. We're working on that. We're going to source all this data except for this last one, job growth. We're going to source all this data from city-data.com. Or whenever we get to population growth, this is where that's going to come from. Apparently I need to do the fancy copy. Okay, let's go to paste right here in our new tab. So this is where we're going to get population growth information. Okay, and we'll just wait for a minute on that one. So basically here is the city-data.com website. So this is where we're getting our population growth data. So as you can see, I already put that in there, the 1.5 million. That is already in here for our San Antonio analysis. Right here. So you can see that we have this delta. So this is where it was, 32%. What's cool, so this is already done for me. I've already obviously underwritten this market. It's pretty easy. Whenever you're doing it, you're going to pop in your delta or your change. So what's on that chart in 2000 and 2017, and then I have formulas already built in here. So if you take this formula, copy it, and then you can paste it into your cell, it'll take what's going on over here and it will calculate it for you. What's also cool is if it turns green, that's a thumbs up. So we're looking for as many of these Real Focus factors to be a green or thumbs up for us to invest. So maybe not all 5 need to be, but whenever all 5 are, that's a screaming deal you need to freaking go for. So this 32% right here, and what does 32% mean? So I'll go one by one to show you what the definition of that 32% is. So it's 1.5 million, right? So we have over 1 million in our population. And so we want 15% growth. So we're like literally double the growth when it comes to population growth in this city that we're looking at right now. So that's definitely like a freaking awesome, heck yeah, let's do it kind of thing, right? So we're going to go over here to our Real Focus, our city-data information again. So you're going to look at the population growth. Now we're looking for median household in 2017, so 50,000. So you come up here to median house value. So here it is. Oh, sorry, household income, my bad. I was like, why are these numbers off? So $50,000, and it was 36,214. So 50,000 and 36,214. And that is going to give you a delta or a change of 38% for income growth. So now what does that mean? We go to our Real Focus. So Real Focus 2, we want 30% median income growth for all population sizes or city sizes. So obviously that means that we're way above median household growth, which is awesome. So it's another yes. And then back to our Real Focus. So now we have done population growth, income growth. Now we're going to go to house value growth, and we're still doing San Antonio right here. So I'll toggle over to real focus house value growth. So we'll go back to city dash data, and then median home or condo value in 2017 is 148,000. It was 67. So come back here, 148 to 67. So our growth is 120% in value growth. So I bet you that's good. 120%. What does that mean for median home or condo? So you want at least 40% median home or condo value. So in San Antonio, it's just stellar right now. So again, this is the city of San Antonio. Remember, there's obviously different subdivisions and zip codes that we'll drill down on next. Okay, so you have this in your chart. And then one last thing that we need from city dash data is going to be down here when we are in this table. So this table is our crime rates in San Antonio by year. So this covers sex offenders, and then also murders, rapes, robberies, assaults, burglaries, thefts, auto thefts, arson. So all the scary stuff. So what you're looking for here is you're looking for a decrease every single year, which it's not 100% decreasing every single year, but it's trending that way. That's what you want to see. You want to see a trend and a decrease, right? So your delta, or looking at where we started to where we are now, 395, and I think this is incidents per square mile. You want to see a decrease over that delta in time. So from 05 to 18, and then you want to have it below 500. Then you know that you're in a stellar market. So right here, we are in that crime trend area. So back over here, our delta or change down has been 101 change, and it's all below 500. So it's, again, a great area. And again, San Antonio is a weird market. So we'll drill down a little bit on the actual zip that we're focusing in for our market. Now, right here, what has been the job growth in the last 12 months in San Antonio, Texas? So we go to that weird little Google link that I posted up here earlier. So we're going to go ahead and change this, and we'll go down to San Antonio. So that we're going to look for change, or percent change. So we're looking for San Antonio, Texas. All the way down to S. A lot of cities. Okay, San Antonio, Texas. So 3.12% change in that time period. So, and last time we didn't go over changing crime levels, but I told you that. So, so now we're going to look over here at this real focus. So we have 3.12% job growth. So if you see anything here, it's over a 2. That's something to really get excited about. So you can see the total job count that were added. This is great. So obviously our job growth in the last 12 months has been awesome in San Antonio, Texas, as far as a percentage goes. So that is awesome. And then trying to get that to highlight, but it won't for me. Anyway, so then we have all these job growth. So far, I mean, it hits all the things that I wanted to hit to invest in that market. So for me, the most important things are going to be population growth and job growth. Those are going to be like my number 1 and number 2 most important things that I care about. And then it goes from there to, I would say, crime trend, because that can kill a deal. And then these two are about equal. And then it goes over the actual stats on each of these little trends or deals here. So now we've done the city real focus. Now we can do the neighborhood real focus. So you have real focus 1, median household income, real focus 2, median contract rent. That is something. Try to scroll down. There we go. Rules of thumb. So right here, I don't remember if I had done San Antonio. I thought I did. There we go. Pecan Valley. So we'll forget this one right here. So it doesn't matter. So you're going to take the actual zip code of the property, And then through that zip code, then you'll be able to look it up again on city-data.com. So over here, you'll do the exact same thing as we did before. You'll scroll down on city-data.com, and you're looking for household income. We already had that from before, so this is already preloaded in there. It's 43,930, and that's the median household income. And then, so this actually, what do we want to hit? Cindy's under 500,000. Look for seasonal population change, 46%. For 100 million. Current median contract rent. This is repeating itself. So that, again, on these ones, guys, it will, this sheet that I use, the formula is already preloaded in there, and if it's a thumbs up or if it meets your metrics, it will turn green. So you're just entering these information pieces from city-data. So median household income, median contract rent, and then back over here, you're still in San Antonio. Unemployment rate, these are not green. So if we were green, that would mean good things, right? Remember before? Neighborhood unemployment rate is higher than the city unemployment rate, so that's a little bit questionable. The difference between the two is 3%. That's kind of a bit. So that this last number in these columns are what I would really worry about. And then of course this is its own column, but these guys add up to this, the delta or change. So 1 or 2% change is fine, but 3% you're getting up there. So far we've had all green. We've got one median income that's a little bit iffy. So this would just depend on your complex, where your contract median rent compares to this. So if you guys are sitting at like $600 a month, I mean, go for it for sure. It's fine for that community. But if you're, this high and your rents are already close to that or higher, good luck raising the rents. So then also with the unemployment, that could be a problem. So it's really important for you then to look at your tenant mix in the complex that you're looking at. And that's not going to happen until you're in due diligence. And so you can be able to see kind of what industries they're in. For now, all we can see is a rent roll, which is going to have the unit number, the person's name, how much they pay currently for rent, how long their lease is left, if they're month to month, that kind of stuff. So poverty level, that's another thing to look at. So poverty level, it's kind of not in our green area for poverty level. So, but then if you look at all these other areas, which are, like for example, here's a good example neighborhood and not so good example neighborhood. So you want to kind of compare this first line to all of your stuff. So we're in San Antonio. So we're not very far off from the median household there. We're good with contract rent. Our delta here is a little bit iffy when it comes to unemployment. So again, check your tenant mix. When you're looking at poverty level, so we'll go look at the specifics down at the bottom, but ours is 21%, so it's almost double. So that's a little bit iffy for the poverty level. So you got to, again, look at that tenant mix, who's in your property. And that might be an opportunity to change the tenant mix, which is a good challenge to have. You're just getting Section 8 housing out of there and whatnot. Main slice size, so ethnic mix. That's the better way to say it. So 74%, we have a nice ethnic mix. That's what you want. So if it's skewed any one way higher than that, that could be a challenge, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything depending on where you're buying. Like if you're, in Houston, it's obviously closer to Mexico than Dallas is, and so that's okay if there's a skew, just depending on the unit mix and stuff like that. So this is talking about the exact rules of thumb for each of these real focus factors. Unemployment rate, again, that was the one that we kind of had a little bit iffy on. So I look at the tenant mix. Poverty level, that was another one that we were kind of iffy on. Under 15% is preferred if you're risk averse. And then ethnic mix, 75% and lower. So so 15%, let's go back to that poverty level. So like this could go up to 15% and be totally fine. We're a little bit higher than that. So this would be a risk, poverty level and unemployment. So again, it's up to your tenant mix. So everybody, that is how we vet a market using our data from a property. We have to have our city dash data information here. We have to have our Google link that is in the sheet that I have with me that I'm showing you through. It's called Real Focus. And then inside your Real Focus, this kind of explains all the different metrics, what they mean. It's just for definition purposes. And then inside here, we have now checked out the city. And then because it's San Antonio and we know that it changes literally block to block, we have to then drill down a little bit harder and go into the neighborhood Real Focus. So our neighborhood here could be an issue or a challenge when it comes to unemployment and to poverty. So again, then that, if we have all these things good, I mean, that just kind of boils it down to the tenant mix. So you'll find all that when you're in due diligence. So I would, on this deal, I would make sure that I wouldn't put hard money down day one, 100% hard. I would put, so if you did 100K hard day one, hard money, I would put about 25,000 hard day one and 75 hard after 2 weeks. So you've had enough time to go through all these and figure out if it's a deal breaker. So then you only lose 25K. But again, you can do a thing called an EAA, or an early access agreement, where you can go into the property up to 72 hours before you go under contract with your crews and be able to talk to the property manager to pull this kind of information if this is your concern. But honestly, this deal looks pretty freaking good for what's out there these days. Everything's getting pretty competitive and pretty ridiculous. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. And this is basically how you underwrite a market. Now stay tuned for questions and answers you should be asking your sponsors, and also how to underwrite a deal. We're going to be going through that in a separate unit or module. Thank you very much from the Apartment Queen. Get out there and create independence today. Thanks.